Okay, let's hope that this works. Good evening. Welcome into Summers Norman Field. I'm Ryan Travis. I'm joined by Toby Simpson. If Toby wants to come get on the microphone. We've been having some technical issues, so we apologize for the late start. It is the bottom of the third inning. Jacksonville up 4-0 over Tyler High. This is a very thrown together at the last second stream. We're having trouble with getting going on the main computer, so this is kind of a backup situation we've got here, but hopefully we can get a second camera working in just a moment. So bear with us while we work on that, and we'll try to bring you that as quick as possible. All right, I know Lee Trailer's hard at work trying to get a second camera working here, but we do have the one shot from center field. Toby, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
Well, things didn't go quite as planned for this one, but it's been a lot of fun. Are you a big baseball guy, Toby?
Yes, sir. I played baseball for 11 years, from 3 years old to 14.
Okay, so you know a whole lot more than I do is what I'm hearing. I know a little bit about baseball, but I never played or anything. So it's been I watched a lot in college at ETBU. We had a really good baseball program.
Yes, sir.
And I watched a little bit in high school. Oh, a big play here. Got the runner coming home. He's going to be out at the plate. We do have runners on after bases loaded here for the Indians. In the bottom of the third, do have one out. Well, Toby, I know you've been watching the game a little more than I have, trying to get things going here. So what have you seen so far through the first couple innings?
Just really these guys hitting the ball a lot, a few pop flies, and a few grounders, but other than that, they're doing pretty good. The defense is doing very well for Jacksonville. Ooh.
A little high there on that one. Caught him swinging. Jordan Taylor at the plate for the Indians. And he goes down swinging. So second out here in the bottom of the third. Again, Jacksonville leading 4-0.
Up to bat, number 20, Jackson Penn. Swinging a hit.
Yeah, good hit here from Jackson Penn. Gets to the base. He's safe on first. Had the runner come in. One more making his way home. So another 2 runs here for Jacksonville in the bottom of the third. Runners on first and third.
Center fielder number 3, Isaac Pereira.
Trying to pick him off at first.
Will not be successful. Jackson Penn gets back to first base before.
Yeah, good look there from Jackson. Isaac Pereira at the plate for the Indians. So again, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Runners on first and third for your Indians.
That will be the first strike for Isaac.
And that will do it for the bottom of the third. As runners out at first, we will change here. Caden Massey once again into pitch for Jacksonville. Up 6-0 on Tyler High. I think the last time these two teams met, Jacksonville won 14-4, I think. It was a pretty big win for the Indians.
Yes, sir.
And right now, the way things are shaping up, it looks like they may get another big win against the Lions tonight.
Yes, sir.
Hitting off the top of the fourth, the catcher, number 23, Marcus Pierce.
Say something about how I'm going to see if I can get this around the dugout and to a lower.
Good out there in center field. Toby, did you catch who that was? Sorry, I was working on some stuff over here, trying to keep things rolling.
I think that was Chachi, as they call him. I think his name is Isaac. Another hit. Ooh. Fielded by Drew Dials.
That was a nice hit there from Tyler.
So,
over to left field, kind of split the third and second baseman.
So right, ran no man's lands, they used to call it.
Center fielder number 3, Marquise Pott.
Why is his press pass forward today? Can I have it here? No.
Yeah, this is Marquise Potts at the plate for Tyler.
Testing 1, 2, testing. Things we have learned this week so far. There's absolutely 0 square inches of Wi-Fi at the baseball complex at JHS. We knew that ahead of time. Ryan, Travis, and I came out and did some Wi-Fi tests. We found out, worst case scenario, there's none to be had. No problem. We were going to stream off our phone, which we've done before for football and other events where we haven't had Wi-Fi, so weren't too concerned about it until we got here tonight and discovered that not only is there no Wi-Fi, the upload speeds on cellular hotspots here at the JISD baseball complex also extremely bad, very problematic. So definitely had some issues getting started here for this first baseball game. But if you're able to see us and hear us, thank you for joining us here on JISD Live. Once again, I'm Lee Traylor, class of 2005. Ryan Travis, who's been a huge help tonight as we've been kind of scrambling, trying to put our heads together to get the broadcast on the air. Class of 2014, he just stepped away to do some more technical work, I believe. And we're joined by Toby Simpson, class of 2026.
Yes, sir.
That's right. And just now joined by JHS engineering teacher, 2023 teacher of the year. Is that correct? 2024 teacher of the year.
2024,
and JHS class of
2010.
2010. That's
Yes,
Mr.
that's
Brandon
right.
Orr joining us on the broadcast. So once again, thank
the
you for
best
joining
class.
us. Okay, well, I don't know about all that.
2010, for
You know,
sure.
we've got 2005, which
We got 2026.
we do have 2026.
Got 2026.
That's right. Not going to say I'm partial or anything like that, but 2005, definitely the best graduating class out of those three options. So once
Yeah.
again,
Whatever.
once again, thank you for joining us here
Only
on
preferences.
JISD Live. Jacksonville currently 6 runs ahead of the Lions. But a good hit here for Marquise Potts, I believe.
Yeah, Marquise Potts.
Good contact there for Tyler.
That's their
And that
first run
does
of the
drive
game.
in a run. All right, Toby, you've played a lot of baseball in your time. So what have you seen so far? I know you've been helping kind of like get stuff set up and helping on the technical side as well. But from when you've been able to watch some of the game tonight, what have you seen? What are your thoughts?
This defense has just been really good for Jacksonville. I mean, obviously they've had a lot of base hits and things like that, but they've just been
Squares
out.
around the bunt.
Oh, not able to connect there, trying to pick him off at first, and now coming around, going home.
That's safe. That is Tyler's second run of the game.
And
Tyler's second run of the game.
and able to salvage some of that as Jacksonville able to get the out at second as the runner on first trying to advance. So Tyler does pick up a run, but Jacksonville gets the out, 2 outs in the inning. Jacksonville with a 6-2 lead.
Got Adrian Perez up to bat for the Lions.
Just barely missed him right behind him.
You know, right there on that square around bunt where good job right there by Landon.
Using his
Where-
body as a glove.
We've got our defense rotating over there. Graham Washburn trying to cover first on that bunt coverage rotation. Just overthrew him.
There's a foul ball.
You know, and that's a tough play. That's a tough play right there. You know, you're trying to throw behind the runner, try to get him. Graham's coming over to first, and his body weight's moving towards first base, but the ball's thrown to his left side there. And
Don Bauer, will you have them turn their lights off?
had lights on in a vehicle up in the parking lot.
And as you could hear there through the mic, Jacksonville head manager, Branson Washburn, getting current AOD Don Bauer to take care of the situation. And she does so expertly, I would say.
if there's one person you want for that job, I would choose Miss Bauer as well.
Good contact here for Tyler, but a great
play.
Great play for Jacksonville. I believe that was Elijah. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Elijah with the great throw to get that out at first and get Jacksonville out of the inning. So 2 runs in that inning.
Moving
for
to his
Tyler.
left on that ground ball.
Yeah, really athletic play.
Had to go glove side, make a turn, throw him out at first base. A great throw right in the chest of the first baseman, Chachi. We got an out. That's 3. Let's go hit, boys.
You do need 3 of those, so I've heard. You know,
You do.
The two of y'all have played baseball much more recently than I have. When I played baseball, that would be City League baseball, City League All-Star here that you're talking to. You know,
That's what I'm talking about.
In rarefied air. Just
I like it.
That's right.
I like
it. But it's been a while. I was always a basketball, football. Those are my sports after kind of like the youth league's ages.
What position did you play in Little League?
I was a shortstop.
Okay, so you're a stud.
I mean, you know, I don't want to brag or anything like that. No, absolutely not. I was always a much better baseball spectator than baseball player. But you know, it's great to be out here. It's great to be able to bring this, you know, to some people in the community and get some people to see JHS baseball here on JISD Live.
Absolutely. And y'all, by the way, y'all do a fantastic job. JISD Live
really
does
appreciate that.
for all of our sporting events. Absolutely top notch. Has to be, in my opinion, the best live broadcasting for high school sports in the state of Texas.
Wow. Well, we came in second last year.
I know, but I'm going to disagree with the ruling. Yeah, with the final standings.
Gotcha.
And so
that's very kind of you. I really appreciate it. You know, we're always trying to improve. That's something we've talked about a lot in class this year is what to add and how to get better, and this sport is one of those. Good contact here.
Landon Best.
But just foul. Actually takes a hop and heads down to Happy Valley. So say goodbye to that baseball.
A couple little humps in the fence over there, you know.
But
Landon Best has a really nice swing.
Takes a big cut there, but good pitch for
low and outside right there by the pitcher is a nice spot.
I believe this is Adrian Alvarado on the mound for the Lions. And he's able to send Best back to the dugout.
Got Landon Myers up at the plate for the Indians.
I think we're having some camera feed issues. Ryan's currently on those, so we'll see if we can get those sorted out. Also, our score bug's not correct. Jacksonville does have 6 runs, but Tyler with 2.
Just over the top on that fastball, Landon Myers is. There it is.
Great.
He
Good
gets on top of
contact,
it,
makes
run
its
it out.
way through.
Attaboy.
Good base hit from Myers. So 1 out in this inning.
Myers with some deceptive wheels right there.
Yeah, real speed there for Myers to get to first. And
it's a tough play by the second baseman. You know, that little dribbler.
Really, especially coming through the pitcher, you know, it wasn't really clear if he was going to stop it or not. And I think he maybe even made some contact with it when it came across the mound.
Well, a lot of teams too, they're not used to playing on real grass.
Yeah,
you know, they practice and they play on turf now. And Summers Norman Field still the best grass field in the state of Texas.
It's absolutely beautiful. It really is. And, you know, there's a real history here.
Oh yeah.
Of that going back to Cecil Newton, who was the groundskeeper for the district.
Absolutely.
For a long time.
Well,
and
fun fact, he still comes out every year before baseball season and checks it, make sure it's right and ready to go.
Yeah, so just you're right. You know, beautiful grass field here. This is hit high.
Get foul.
And foul and not able to make his way over to it. Number 8 for the Lions, who Juan Higuera, trying to get there, couldn't quite make it. So
I love the feed, by the way, from the outfield. This is great. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, so the view that you're getting, Toby helped me with this in pregame. We have a tripod zip-tied to one of the support posts of the outfield wall.
That's top notch right there.
I don't know when the last time you went around the outfield wall here at Summers Norman Field, but
good hit right there.
It's definitely
Gotta get there.
Great nice double play
by the Lions.
From the Lions. Really good action there to get the outs at first and second and first. So the Lions get out of that inning unscathed. Jacksonville with a 6-2 lead. They're heading into the fifth.
Going back to what y'all were saying earlier about great fields, the Tomato Bowl is in the Final Four of voting for one of the one of the best stadiums in the state of Texas.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Toby. And, frankly, I feel like I should have thought about that when we were saying it, so thank you for saying it. That was excellent instincts. Jacksonville is currently in the Final Four for the Dave Campbell's Texas football voting for the best high school football stadium in the state of Texas. So the historic Tomato Bowl currently up against El Paso's Jones Memorial Stadium, the Lady on the Hill as it's known. So two historic stadiums going up against each other in the Final Four, both looking for a chance to get into essentially the championship to be named the best high school stadium in the state of Texas. So a huge honor already to be in the Final Four for the Tomato Bowl. But you're absolutely right, Toby. We need to mention that, and we need to mention it more than once. For everybody that's listening, you can go. If you just go to JISDlive.com, there's a link right at the top that says click here to vote for the Tomato Bowl, and that'll take you straight to the voting for the fan vote for this contest. And it's worth noting that you can vote as many times as you want, and that's not encouraging you to cheat. That's the rules of the contest. It says so on Dave Campbell's that they encourage you to vote as many times as you'd like. So if you're listening and you're willing, go to JISDlive.com, click that link to vote for the Tomato Bowl, and throw a few votes towards the historic Tomato Bowl's way. We'd love to get into the finals to be voted the best high school stadium in the state of Texas.
Absolutely. Now, the stadium we're up against right now in El Paso, it has a big, nice, pretty overlook, doesn't it?
It does.
Is that
yes,
right?
Yeah, it's kind of built into the landscape there, and it was built in 1913, so going back.
Wow.
Got a lot of history. It's a beautiful stadium. It's absolutely deserving to be in the Final Four. But in my completely unbiased opinion, just not quite up to the standard of the historic Tomato Bowl. So,
well, I would
my
agree
votes
too.
have reflected that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I don't know about yours, Toby. I don't. You've got a couple of periods in a computer class at Jacksonville High School, second and third period, namely, where you may have been encouraged to send a few votes towards the Tomato Bowl. So
only a few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Now we got a pitching change for Jacksonville. Drew Dials is on the mound. Pretty decent fastball thrower.
Yeah, Drew just an excellent athlete. Whether it's here on the mound or playing football on Friday nights
Behind the line.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a fantastic athlete. We saw it earlier tonight where he hit, made contact and was running to first. And tonight arrived at first base as the same time as the pickoff throw, ran through the contact and forced the first baseman to drop the ball. So able to get on base there. So just kind of more evidence of his well-rounded athleticism.
Absolutely.
He did play safety.
He did. And he kind of played all over and played safety, played quarterback. And
played receiver.
Receiver, absolutely. So
we had a few plays where we'd put Trent in and we'd switch him out for Drew Dials.
Graham out there trying to collect that hit. And I didn't get a number for Tyler.
Tough play there going to his left.
Not able to get that second hand in the glove.
I believe that was Caleb Hall.
Caleb Hall.
For Tyler. Good looking hit. And you're right, it was a difficult looking collection for Graham.
Tyler looking like once they get guys on base, they're going to try to move them over, bunting.
Yeah.
Try to
for
play a
sure.
little small ball, make Jacksonville do some things that can be uncomfortable at times.
Yeah, and Toby, you and Ryan may have talked about this, when we finally got on the air, but these two teams already met this year. Hall makes his way to second. These two teams met earlier this year, and Jacksonville came away with a 14-4 victory against the Lions earlier this year, and they currently have a 6-2 lead here at Summers Norman. So, Coach Orr, or Mr. Orr, you played baseball here for Jacksonville High School.
I did.
Why don't you take us through some of your memories of baseball here?
Yeah, so played and also coached. And
That's
so
you know what? That's probably worth mentioning in the intro. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Some great times here at the Summers Norman Field. Couple of great memories. Was one time we were playing ARP here at Summers Norman Field. I was playing center field. There was a line shot hit to left center. Batter squares around the bunt. He pulls it back. Line shot hit to left center out by the 350 sign that's out there, and I knew it was over my head, and it was actually hit by Kyle Copeland, fun fact, who is the younger son of former Jacksonville Indian head football coach Randy Copeland. And I just put my head down, took off running, dove, stretched out, left my feet. Here you go. Double up.
Catch.
Make a play. Atta baby, Chachi.
What a play for Jacksonville.
Line shot down the right side. Chachi was right there, had quick hands, able to snag it. Throws it back to second base for the double play to Landon Best. Great play there for the Indians.
Really good-looking play for Jacksonville.
I think not only did they switch out pitcher, I think they put Rico at first base and took Chachi, let him get a little breather.
So, yeah, that was a great play. Fun times playing the game. One of the most memorable moments of my playing career, though, happened whenever Zach Vining was playing left field. He was probably about where the left fielder is right now, about midway in the outfield, and fly ball hit over the top of his head. He turned and ran, went to go make a play on the ball. He was tracking it, and then boom. It landed right in the middle of it. And if you can look out there, there's an indention in the wall that is still there.
That's still
from the time that Zach Vining ran into that wall.
A Zach Vining-shaped dent in the wall.
Yeah,
these are the kind of stories
that's exactly
that you look
right.
for when you bring on a Brandon Orr.
That's exactly
onto
right.
The broadcast.
I don't really remember wins and losses, but I remember things like that.
You remember the Zach Vining shape.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
That's good.
Yep. And actually, after he ran into the wall, they took some tape and they outlined his body out there. Yeah, and it was
that's great.
It stayed out there for a while, so that was really pretty cool. It was really pretty cool. Now we had some good players come through Jacksonville. Terrence Kennedy is one that pops into my mind. The new police chief here in Jacksonville, Stephen Markowski, used to play center field. Good job by Graham there, collectively. It's tough after you miss a ball, another one gets hit at you. You know another one's coming. It's tough to get your thoughts together, make sure
that you can last one. Collect the next one. Good job there from Graham.
And go, yeah, absolutely.
Graham, who's in my sixth period class, and Graham, who is almost single-handedly responsible for our attempts to live stream baseball here, because he has hammered me all year long about live streaming baseball.
He doesn't quit.
He doesn't,
quit.
And I respect it. And so, if it'll make Graham Washburn happy, I'm willing to give it a shot. So that's what we're doing here tonight. Also happy to bring it to everybody that's watching on JISD Live, and appreciate all of you that are.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Fun fact, my first year coaching baseball here, which was my second year coaching, this young man walking in front of us right here was on our baseball team. Richie
That'd be Richie Vieira.
Yep. He used to pitch and play first base. Great great young man. I'm excited to see him coaching baseball. He's a all-around good guy, good teacher.
Yeah,
we're happy to have him.
He's done a good job both in the classroom and out here, and in the Tomato Bowl coaching football. So
absolutely. So yeah, my senior year, I played every position on the field except for catcher and first base.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
And it's funny, the next year after I graduated, I came back to play the alumni game, and I caught in that game. And the coaches, which was Corey Spoon, he was like, "You can catch?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I can catch. What are you talking about?"
You can do it all.
We didn't know that. Like, sorry about that. But growing up, my little league coach was Cecil Newton.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you played for Cecil Newton, you were going to learn how to pitch,
yeah.
you were going to learn how to catch, and you were going to be able to play every position on the field. And so that's kind of the mindset I always had in high school. I guess it followed me to high school. Oh. Foul ball back into the car parking lot there. It's always a dangerous spot to park your cars. Right behind the baseball field.
Just for some context, I know we didn't get this on camera, but that was about 4 feet from landing right in the middle of my windshield. That would have been like some absolute commentary gold. Dials headed for second, and he's going to make it.
It's a good job by Drew Dials, hustling down the line, errant throw, and he gets second base there.
Yeah, that was
Did it really almost hit your car?
No, like legitimately was extremely close to just
awesome.
smashing my windshield. That would have been worth it just to hear my reaction on the air.
If that would have happened, I would have framed that ball.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Graham Washburn up at the plate. Good contact hitter. He's got really good hands. We'll see what he can do here. That was the first curveball we've seen from this pitcher. Decides to start Graham out at it with a curveball.
Still Alvarado on the mound for Tyler.
Called strike by the umpire.
Good contact from Graham, but Tyler able to get there. And that was Aiden Portley able to collect it for the Lions.
Third baseman, number 12, Isaac Gallegos.
Gallegos up to bat for Jacksonville.
Drew Dials has a conservative lead over there at second. They decided to throw behind him, try to pick him off.
Just kind of let him know they haven't forgotten about him.
That's right. That's right. I mean, when you got wheels back there,
yeah, you
always want to make sure that guy knows that you know that he's there. Little out in front there by the hitter. He's really looking to take a rip at that one. Caught the end of the baseball bat. 0-1 count. There it is. That's a great hit. Ball left center. It's going to score one for sure.
Dials across home. The double from Gallegos.
That is Drew Dials' second time making it to home tonight.
That was a great job by the hitter right there. What was his name?
Elijah Gallegos.
Elijah Gallegos, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Elijah Gallegos. He was early on the previous pitch. He stayed disciplined, let that ball travel a little bit more, tattooed it right at the 350 sign. It was a great job by Elijah.
Yeah, some good power from Gallegos. The ball jumped off the bat.
See if we can do a job right here. Ball back behind the runner towards second base. He's going to go. Ball in front of him on the third base side. He's going to sit and wait and watch and see what the fielder does. Strike called. Now, coaching baseball is a little different, Toby, than playing. You know, because you're really trying to piece things together. You got to know your kids, right? You got to know who can hit and who can't hit, and who can bunt and who can run and what they're best at. And you got to field your lineup, and you gotta know that every single moment whenever those kids are coming up to the plate and where your base runners are at. And so Coach Washburn does a really good job of knowing what his kids can do and what they're not so good at, right? So he's going to ask them to do different things and have different approaches at the plate, and he's going to try to put them in the best situation possible to win.
Yeah, one of the great things about Coach Washburn, I've known him my entire life, and he was in Little League when I played with Graham Washburn.
We'll see if that one falls. It does.
Raja Gallegos now at third base, and I believe that's Parker Jones at first. Anyways, like I was saying, Coach Washburn was my Little League coach when I was on the same team with Graham, and he knows how to work with kids, and he knows just, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good coach. So my two of my sons have also come out, you know, for kind of some of the youth baseball events and camps over the last couple of summers. And so not only do I gotten to see how Coach Washburn, you know, coaches and teaches as a coworker, but you know, I've just been able to see him coach my sons, you know, through those camps, and you're right, he is fantastic at it and does a great job all the way around, you know, in that role, and does a great job in the classroom as well. He's an excellent teacher, and those two disciplines, coaching and teaching, you know, it's a different looking classroom, but a lot of the same skills. So,
absolutely.
So it doesn't really shouldn't really surprise that he's good at both of those. I've
heard many times that the best coaches also are some of the best teachers. You think of guys like Matt Turner, you think of guys like Danny Long, Jeff Traylor, Wayne Coleman, guys like that were excellent in the classroom, and it also translated on the field.
Brandon Orr, you know.
I wasn't going to put my name.
Especially that last one.
And Toby, you mentioned you were coached by Coach Washburn, and that's a good time to kind of talk about your experience playing baseball. So you don't currently play baseball. You're not playing baseball at Jacksonville High School currently, but you've played baseball for a lot of your life. So some of your memories outside of being coached by Coach Washburn, like what are some of your thoughts when you think back on playing baseball as a kid and kind of just the sport, in general?
I don't really know.
Well, let's start with how long did you play baseball? How much of your life have you played baseball, both as City League all the way through?
I played about Gallegos in for home.
Our umpire just took that
right to the dome. I had a first and third situation right there. Ball gets on the outside of the catcher. He bobbles it, keeps it in front of him, able to pick it up, throw it down to second base to try to get the out. Doesn't get the out. Second baseman fires it back home and doesn't get the out there either. So the Indians do score, but in the process, the umpire takes one straight to the head with no padding or anything like that on the head. They're checking him out right now, seeing if he's okay. He does look shaken up a little bit.
A lot of credit to those umpires.
Oh yeah, you got to be tough for sure. We do have trainers here at Jacksonville ISD that attend every single athletic event, and those trainers right now are looking into the umpire and his situation right now. They got him having a seat in the dugout. So we do have a little bit of a break here for your Jacksonville Fighting Indian baseball game.
Sorry about that. I had to step away. I've got multiple students who have volunteered to be here, and which is great. I'm always super impressed by the number of students that are willing to come out to events and help with JISD Live. And some of our technical issues have kind of limited the number of cameras that we're running, and so we have more students than we have cameras, which has allowed some of them to just kind of do some heckling in the background as we talk, and they're having a good time back there, which is always great to see. So I just had to go kind of take a few lumps as they were back there kind of giving me the what for. So
baseball is such a skilled sport. In basketball is a skilled sport, what we would call a skilled sport. Soccer, skilled sport. Hockey, skilled sport. But in those three skilled sports, a lot of athleticism can make up.
Sure, you can be an overwhelming athlete and get away with being less skilled.
Yes, baseball is not so much that. It's more skilled than now athleticism. Don't get me wrong,
it makes a difference. But you can be as big, as strong as you want and swing a bat as fast as you want. If you're not making contact, it does not matter.
Correct. Absolutely.
Might as well be me out there.
Absolutely. Well, I wasn't going to say that, but you played shortstop in Little League, right?
I did. There you go.
Yeah, technique is a real big factor in the baseball.
It is. And if you're not individually working on that constantly, it makes it pretty tough. It does. It makes it pretty tough.
Baseball is also...
Looks like our umpire set to make his way back out.
A lot of people don't know this, but baseball is also a very, very big mental game.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Especially
Absolutely.
as a pitcher or a catcher. In my opinion, from playing, I think, 11 years, I played pitcher and catcher, and I think those are the most mental part.
Yeah, for sure. And we got an example of that earlier, not with a pitcher or a catcher, but we briefly talked about when Graham, had some trouble collecting, a shot hit up there towards him, and then just a few plays later has to do the same thing and is able to get it turned around and get it to first for the out. Definitely part of that mental aspect that you're talking about, Toby, where you just gotta. Oh,
called strike. Batter thought it was a ball. Called strike. So we got a full count with one away. The Tyler Lions, they have everybody up on the infield, so they're looking to make a play at the plate. Try to keep this score within reach.
good
job
contact
lifting
from
it to the
Jackson.
outfield. We're going to tag. It looks like. Nope. He held up. It was in short center field right there, so sending the runner home was going to be kind of tough to be able to get him there.
Yeah, good contact. As Isaac Barrera steps up to the plate for Jacksonville. 2 outs in this inning. Jacksonville with the 8-2 lead.
Now, I've been really impressed with Adrian Alvarado. He's got a little pop on his fastball. He throws strikes. They're not walking a lot of people.
Yeah, that was a good-looking pitch right there from Alvarado.
He's very consistent
Yes.
from what I've seen. I've seen a lot of straight down the middle fastballs. He's got, from an example from right here, no pitcher's perfect, so he's had a few outside the strike zone. But from what I've seen, he's doing a great job tonight.
Yeah, he's been impressive.
There he is. Have a wild pitch there, scores a run.
That's part of commentary, You can kind of speak something into existence. We're talking about where he's just kind of painting the strike zone all night long. And then as we bring it up, we get our first wild pitch of the game.
I believe that's called announcer's jinx.
I think so. And I think you're a natural at it, Toby. So it's good to see for sure. But this is just more of that mental aspect that we talked about. We had an unexpected kind of extended delay when we had the umpire get hit by a ball, and so as the pitcher, you've just got to, you're not expecting that. No one is, and then all of a sudden, hey, you've been pitching, you had to stop, now just get right back into it. And so to see, a wild pitch, probably not the most unexpected thing in the world, given those circumstances, but kind of that mental aspect that we talked about.
Absolutely.
And as a pitcher, you have to stay locked in 24/7.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times what those batters will like to do is if something's not right, if their gloves on not all the way, they like to step out of the box.
Oh,
and
for sure. Give you some time to think about it.
And the pitcher has to stand there and just wait for them. And then as soon as they're done, then they have to get back in.
Got Landon Vest back up at the plate. Runner on first. Let's see what we can do here. Landon's dad, fun fact, Josh Best, was the assistant baseball coach whenever I was a junior and senior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
And so I remember Landon whenever he was really, really little, running around the baseball field and foul ball straight back over our heads there. Running around the baseball field with his dad being the assistant baseball coach. And it's really cool to get to see him now in high school playing baseball, sophomore, starting on the varsity here at Jacksonville. He actually started on the varsity as a freshman last year.
Very talented kid.
And, it's going to be really neat to see where he goes in his future or how he progresses.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. Landon works really hard. Whenever we're coming back from athletics, school is over, and I can hear him swinging in the batting cages. I hear the ding off of his bat.
Oh, yeah.
He works very hard.
Staying late, putting in the work. So this Jacksonville varsity team has several underclassmen that start. So some young talent on this team. Graham Watson.
Very young team. Got to get there. Oh, there's 3.
And
ground out to the shortstop right there. We step on second. Tyler steps on second base for the 3rd out of the inning. Yeah, I, to your point, 5. I think we have 5 starting sophomores.
Yeah, and then Graham starts as a
Graham
freshman.
starts as a freshman, and we have 1 other freshman on the varsity. So very young team. Very young team.
Just 3 seniors on this team, so very young. That's part of the Brandon Orr commentating experience is, everybody wants to talk to us.
Oh
to
my
Mr. Orr.
God.
So, you get people walking by, they want to talk to him, and I get it. I do too. I want to talk to Brandon Orr, so that's why we're having him on here. And
I don't know about any of that.
No, but
none of that.
If you're watching or listening and you haven't come out to a baseball game at JHS in a while, definitely make your way over to Summers Norman Field, because it is a great night. It's a great night of action. It's a great night of fun. There's always plenty of people here, and
as you can hear in the background,
you can hear that.
You can actually.
And it's just a good time.
It is.
It is definitely. Baseball is one of those, is maybe chiefly among the American sports, kind of the Americana aspect of it is just really nostalgic, and that's certainly present here in Jacksonville. You get your old school concession stand where you can get some nachos or a hot dog while you watch some baseball here at beautiful Summers Norman Field.
And we have a really young team, and they play the game the right way. They got great attitudes. They play hard. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how they progress in their future. So come on out, folks, and watch these Indians fight hard to win baseball games. And like Lee said, it's a great atmosphere, especially these spring nights now. We're getting some great temperatures.
What a beautiful night.
The ryegrass is really perfect out on the baseball field right now. You can smell it.
As of right now, it is 68 degrees. Feels great.
Man, yeah, just a pretty much a perfect night for baseball as Drew Dials up on the mound. We've got a full moon hanging in the sky over Summers Norman Field.
just out of the reach of our first baseman.
I think first baseman caught it, and we got an out call, actually. I think. Or was there some infraction?
I think Tyler Lyons felt like he came off the bag. He was trying to appeal to the umpire.
Called out. So we're going to get a discussion from the Tyler third base coach.
No instant replay in high school baseball.
Unless you're watching on JISD Live, when you can scrub that.
Oh, that is true. I didn't think about that.
You can't see first base.
Well,
So
Oh, yeah.
you know, Ryan, listen, I'm going to need more positivity. When you jump in on the commentary, I'm going to need you saying good
You
things,
can
positive
leave
things.
negative
man,
Nancy at home.
I'm just trying to keep the score and the balls and strikes and outs
and you're doing
right
a great
now.
job. You really are.
Hey, by the way, Ryan, you do a great job. Football, soccer, basketball, man. I really appreciate
Thank you,
the
Brandon.
stuff that
I
you do,
appreciate it,
man.
Yeah, he
You really do a
in
great
addition
job.
to doing a fantastic job quality-wise, I can speak to the quantity of the work that Ryan Travis does on a volunteer basis for JISD Live. He believes in it, and he wants to help us celebrate as much as we can.
Ow.
Sorry about that. As much as we can here at JHS. And so
that was a good ball to right field. Going back.
Hit the wall.
Hits the wall.
As right fielder Harrison Penn throws it in to Landon Best.
Yep, so we get a double here for Tyler.
Absolutely smoked it to the fence there.
Props to Harrison Penn for getting
Yeah,
it all the
absolutely.
way to the wall to the second base.
yeah, keeping that a double.
Harrison has some wheels now.
He does.
Harrison, he's very sneaky athletic.
Sneaky athletic. That's a
Sneaky
good
athletic.
term. Yeah,
Deceptively athletic.
deceptively. Real lunch pail kind of guy. But, just kind of finish up my thoughts. So in addition to doing a great job, Ryan, does a lot. He donates a ton of time, a ton of hours. So can't thank him enough. Can't say enough good things. Really, really just truly appreciative of everything, that he does
Thank you.
for
Absolutely.
the district.
Absolutely. Drew Dial is still on the mound here for the Indians. There's pitch. I don't know if you know this or not. There's pitch count rules now in high school baseball.
Didn't know it. Explain
And
it.
so-
I want to hear it.
Well, I don't actually remember
Okay.
all of the
All right,
numbers.
fantastic.
But what I'm going to say is this. I know it's 30, 60, 90, around in there, 30, 45, 60, 90, something like that. So depending upon how many pitches you throw in a game will be dependent upon how many days of rest you have to have after that before you can throw in another game.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so the max pitch limit, I believe, in high school baseball is 110, and you get to finish the batter. And so if you have a pitcher, say Drew Dials, he throws, 55 pitches, and for that he has 3 days of rest. Has to have 3 days of rest. Well, if you pitch on a Tuesday and you throw those 55 pitches, and you have to have 3 days of rest, you rest Wednesday. You rest Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You don't get to pitch on Friday, so
Right.
you'll have to wait till the next week. And so that comes into play with a lot of coaching strategy because you know who your next opponent is and then your opponent after that.
Right.
So you have to conserve arms because it's not just, oh, I feel fine. No, you have to rest. You have to rest those allotted amount of days. And so it just brings in a whole new different dynamic into high school baseball. It's pretty interesting.
That is pretty interesting.
And you also have to worry about this game as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, 100%. Yep, because you know who else that you have. Do you want to finish with this guy? You want to go to another guy to have him for the next game? There's a lot of different.
It forces you to. I'm assuming here, but I'm assuming it forces you to, really invest in your stable of arms, and you can't just have that one or two guys that are just kind of your your go-tos, and you're just going to kind of ride those arms all year long.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So
that is something that's interesting too, because I watched ETBU won the national championship for college softball last year, and the pitcher for Belhaven pitched every inning of the entire tournament for them.
Yep.
So
Yeah, softball, there is no pitch limit.
They don't have
Yep.
limits in softball.
Because of the different action of the arm, right? And so, like our softball team, Hannah Gonzalez is our main pitcher. Well, she pitches nearly every game, every inning.
Gotcha.
Whereas baseball, because of the action of the arm and the amount of arm injuries we've had in the
Just wear and
past,
tear.
yep. The state of Texas decided to put in those pitch rules, and I think that it is a benefit to players, physically, but it does put a strain on games and days and different things like that. Tournaments got the third out.
Third out for Jacksonville.
Great play by Rico.
Ground ball to the right side. Rico's able to snatch it up and step on the bag. So tournaments, you play games on Thursday, Friday, and maybe 2 on Saturday. And so, you get right now in high school baseball, you get to the end of those tournaments and you might be out of arms,
Right.
And so it's tough. It is tough.
Yeah, back in Little League, it was the pitcher can't throw over 70 pitches. It didn't, and you played like every Saturday. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
We got fantastic music
Oh,
here
yeah.
at Summers Norman. Another reason to come out and enjoy the games in person. I don't know who is in charge of the playlist from the press box, but I know it's one of 2 people.
Well,
We
I
got
think it's DJ Garrett Leahy.
Well, Jarrett Leahy is doing a great job up there. Just like I said, just another reason to come out here to Summers Norman in person. You'll get to see the Zach Vining-shaped dent yourself.
Absolutely.
Lay eyes on it.
Absolutely.
You'll get to
I really think that deserves to be in a trophy case in the school. Like, we should cut it out.
I think we should. We might, or
Now-
If
maybe
they
we'll
ever
just-
decide to replace the wall, that has to be enshrined somewhere.
You know,
Now, fun fact, the nurse at Jacksonville High School is Zach Vining's wife.
Well, there you
so
go.
maybe we should ask her for consent,
maybe so. Maybe
and
so.
we could do that.
I don't know if it'd still be in like ballpark regulation, but maybe we could frame that area. Just a nice wooden white
That'd be
frame.
nice. Maybe some thick plexiglass. That way
it'd be
you
fantastic. A little museum plaque.
got Landon Myers up at the plate.
Alvarado still on the mound for Tyler. Strike called for that first pitch.
Little up, couldn't get up to that pitch.
just barely underneath it.
Those high ones, if you can hit them right, they will be gone.
Jacksonville with a 9-2 margin currently. Up against the Lions.
Great
Good
hit.
contact.
Got to run it out.
Good throw to get the out at first.
Great job by the shortstop there, coming up, making a play, throwing it on the run.
Yeah, accurate and got it there in time.
One of those freshmen that we're talking about.
Giancarlo up at the plate for Jacksonville.
Oh, never mind. He's a sophomore. I got that wrong.
Is that
Chachi.
Chachi's
a freshman.
Yeah.
The other freshman.
So it's Graham Washburn and Chachi.
And Chachi. Those are the
right,
two freshmen. Okay.
But I think all of these seniors, all of the sophomores that are on the team currently, were all varsity freshmen from
Gotcha.
last year.
Yeah.
So, like we've mentioned a few times, a young team, but it's going to be exciting to see what they are going forward.
It's just good job by Alvarado there to get to first base. Wasn't quite able to make the play on the ball,
Yeah,
but
and
was
then
able
didn't
to
panic. Just
nope.
Immediately
Right over there.
gets to
Got to first and was able to get that out right there. Drew Dial is up at the plate for Jacksonville now. Good eye. Ball was low right there. Looked like a curveball coming from the pitcher. That's about the third one we've seen him start out with a curveball there. Right back to the fastball, a little low and outside.
On that curveball you mentioned, you could just see in Drew's posture, and he wanted to hit that thing so bad.
Good eye.
Another one. Threw that one for a strike right there. Curveball right on the inside part of the plate.
2-1 count for Dials.
That high fastball, man, those things look juicy. I'm telling
really
you.
do.
They look
really
like
do.
you can put that one out over 375 out there.
Yeah. And
It's tough to lay off the high fastball, even for pro hitters. You know, you see those guys, they'll be low, those pitchers low, 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 bring one up, kind of elevate the zone. Those guys will be right up underneath it.
yeah, Dials took a swing at that last one. Now the 2-2 count.
We have a full count for Drew Dials.
Right on the outside part of the plate right there, just missed a little bit
Yeah,
outside with the fastball.
Looked like it could have gone either way. Good pitch, but
Good eye.
good eye at that at-bat for Dials. He's going to head to first. 2 outs in the inning. Jacksonville up 9-2.
It'll be interesting to see what Coach Washburn does right here with 2 outs. He's got Graham up at the plate, Graham Washburn up at the plate, which I believe is our 8-hole hitter. Now there's a strategy here. You know, you go ahead and you try to steal second base with the runner that's on first with a decent hitter there coming back in the next inning. So we'll see what he does here, what decision that gets made. Pitch comes to a play, is a little high for Graham. Here we actually got the lineup here. Graham is a 6-hole hitter. Okay. Toby's like, Brandon, Coach Orr, if you say one more thing wrong, you're going to get fired.
No, sir, not you. I'm looking at Mr. Trailer. He was swiping through some I'm not going to say what, but it's about,
No, you can't do that.
about the football team. And he was telling me.
So Toby may have just gotten an
Sneak peek.
unintentional sneak peek of some of the designs coming up for the football team as I was looking for the roster in the photo album on my phone. We're not revealing anything at all as far as that goes, but that's what you're hearing. Good play there from Alvarado. Graham able to make contact, almost pops it up between the mound and second, but
just missed that ball, got right up underneath it. Graham Washburn did, popped it right up to the pitcher.
Very unfortunate for Graham. If that ball is just a little inch higher, he can go in and get on first. And
Looks like Drew Dials is going to continue to be on the mound for the Jacksonville Fighting Indians. Going to try to finish this thing out here. It is the top of the 7th inning, which in high school baseball, it only goes to 7 innings. So, fun fact. I don't know if our viewers knew that.
well,
I didn't know that. So.
Well, there you go. We are headed into that final inning, and Jacksonville with a 9-2 lead. In a pretty good spot.
It is. See if we can finish this one out here, close it in the books, and take home a W. Be awesome for these boys. I know that Coach Washburn will be so excited. Like we said, they've been fighting all year long. They played a great game this past Tuesday at Nacogdoches. Lost that game 2-0. And probably the best game they played all year from what Coach Washburn told me. The boys are just steadily improving, getting better every single week. And so to cap this one off with a win would be great for the morale of the team.
Yeah, they've looked good tonight. They really have. So we're just 1 inning away.
3 outs, and it'll be all she wrote for Tyler Lyons.
Well, here we go.
Now, Toby, earlier you said something and then we scored, and now you just said something again. So
Speaking of
if they wind up scoring 7 here, I'm gonna punch you in the face, man.
I will take it. That'll be my fault. I will take it.
Can we get that on camera?
I don't know. We might not need to get that on camera.
Probably
actually.
shouldn't.
But
We'll get you a tortilla. I'll fill my mouth up with water.
Nice. I like that. I like that.
all right.
Just
good.
make sure you go like behind home plate and it'll pick it up.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
Just punch
Okay.
him over there.
Good strategy there.
Good looking pitch from
Good job,
Giles.
Drew, right there. We got an 0-2 count right here. We're going to see what he does right here. Love a good 0-2 count. A lot of times you try to get a guy swinging, but I know Drew's been in attack mode ever since he stepped foot on the rubber. And there he goes. Yep. Another strike from Drew Dials. Ball bounced right back to him, makes the play, throws him out at first. Great job there by Drew.
I would like to say something, but I feel if I say something, it'll be an announcer jinx. And then I really would get that hit to the face.
High fastball.
Good looking pitch from Giles.
Right up underneath it by the Tyler hitter. Oh, called strike. Fastball right there at the chest. I think he might have thrown that last pitch a little bit higher than that one. Probably really close to the same pitch right there. Oh, that's a ball. But nobody's on base, so it doesn't matter. Little inside, give him a little, I was going to say chin music, but it wasn't at his chin. So
Yeah,
hip
just-
music.
Just giving him a little something to think about.
That's right, that's right. Nothing wrong with that. Just a bit outside right there by Drew Dials. You know, it's interesting as you watch pitchers, the more they pitch, the more fatigued they tend to be, right? And so kind of little details start kind of slipping a little bit. So we'll see how he regroups. Great pitch. That's a strike 3 by Drew Dials. Backwards K.
Also going back to that fatigue thing you were mentioning earlier, Coach Orr. It also goes back to the middle part. Right there, Drew, he started out 0 for 2 on balls and strikes, then he had 2 for 2, and then he decided to come back in and throw that last strike.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That was a great job.
Yeah,
Great job by him. He's filling it up. I think he's filling it, and he's filling up the strike zone right now. Doing a great job, staying true to his mechanics. Everything's staying in line. It's a good job right there. Bounce back to the pitcher. That's the 3rd out, and that's the ball game.
Great game for the Indians here with a 9-2 final score. Jacksonville gets the win against Tyler. And we were able to bring some of it to you. You know, we had
Absolutely.
We had real network issues. We knew there wasn't going to be Wi-Fi down here at the baseball field, but we weren't prepared for the lack of cell service. So it took us a while to find a workaround and to get on the air, but eventually able to get that done, and we really appreciate it. So big thanks for all of us here as part of the student broadcast crew.
And that was fun.
High School. It really was.
It was.
You know, it kind of flew by. It was a great game. It's a great night here. We talked about some of that on the broadcast. But, you know, really thankful that y'all were willing to jump on. You know, it was really fun to have you, Brandon, and have you, Toby. So we're definitely going to have to do some more here in the future. Yeah, it was a great night here on JISD Live. And we we got some baseball on the air. You know, it took a little while, but we got it done.
It did.
Only took a signed petition by the entire
Here,
baseball
come
team.
on, Toby, get in here. We got
here we go.
We got a little camera here.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Got a little setup here next to the baseball field.
Picture.
Yeah. I mean, this was definitely a heck of a first run for a baseball game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
I don't know that
didn't
really
expect.
much of anything other than the center field camera went to plan tonight. So
yeah, it just seemed like one of those times where if it could go wrong, it ended up going wrong.
yeah.
But you know that's live production, and it's the first time we've tried.
And I've
it at this
heard
venue.
if you can get one camera angle to work, that is the one to have for baseball.
For sure.
So
yeah, you know, I think all things considered, considering all the hurdles we ended up running into, I'm really happy with with us eventually getting on the air and able to get some commentary and get some fun stories and able to bring a win for the baseball team.
Yeah, big win for
to
the
the
baseball
people
team.
that wanted to watch it from home.
The wins have been sort of tough to come by for the baseball team this year. So getting another one tonight is big for sure.
It's really excited for the boys and glad we could bring most of it to you here tonight on JISD Live. Yeah, Toby, what do you think about? What are your thoughts? You know, kind of your first foray into commentary. I think you did a fantastic job for what it's worth. But you know, what are your thoughts?
I was very nervous at first.
Well, I mean that's to be expected. But you know, I don't think you could tell it. I think you did a great job.
Yeah, well, there were some times in there where it was just total silence from me. I know there was times when y'all two had to go work some stuff, and I was the only person on headset, so it was just dead silent.
No, I mean that's
is fine.
You know, those are good instincts. You know, you don't want to. You know, if you're not confident in what you're going to say, you don't always want to just fire anything out there. So you know, you got a good instincts there. So yeah, I really appreciate you jumping on with us and can't wait to do some more in the future.
Yeah, I'll be here for the next basketball game. Sorry.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Oh, you're good.
Baseball.
Sorry.
Wrong sport. Man,
Well,
the nerves are real here, aren't they?
I'm going to hold you to it. The next basketball game we do, I expect you to be there for sure.
Well,
It's going to be a bit, but yeah, whenever that rolls around.
for those of you who don't know, I signed a paper in Mr. Trailer's class,
That's
and
right.
he has it pinned against the wall that I will be at every single basketball game next year.
Pledged to help with the commentary on every single game. So
Nice.
that'll be good to roll in to your workflow next year for sure.
Oh yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Ryan, you were kind of behind the camera almost all night. You were helping. You're running all the graphics and keeping everything up to date.
Yeah, it was a process trying to get things set up.
You know-
I set this up, this entire thing.
Yeah.
You dropped a score bug in. I think I set the rest of it up in about 5 minutes
about
just so
to
we
say-
could go live.
I was about to say we've literally been working on this for weeks, so that it would be really easy to work, and
it
we could
was
just sit down
anything but.
and like we had everything lined out to where it'd be super
Yep.
easy to just do and talk at the same time, and it was literally weeks worth of work. And then just none of it is available to us because of
hopefully your
the
computer gets its
the technical
gets its
issues
stuff
here
together
tonight.
before the next game. Yeah.
But being able to throw stuff together on the fly, really appreciative of you going the extra mile tonight, just like you always do. So, on behalf of Ryan Travis and Toby Simpson and all the students here at JISD Live, I'm Lee Traylor. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be bringing you some more baseball at the end of this season, and then we'll be headed into the off season.